Hello everyone, it's Arlene here with Design with Arlene. Today I have a project for you. It's because it's hopefully getting a little bit cooler pretty soon. I've got a Halloween card for you. It's a folding card, so it's a step card, so you can actually make it into any kind of theme that you want. But for today's project, I am going to be using the Clever Cats stamp set and also some fun new designer series paper, the cute Halloween. So I'm starting out with a piece of paper. It's an 8.5 by 11 inch that's been cut in half. So it is 8.5 by 5.5. I'm not going to score it in half this time, which is what I usually do. So I have my paper trimmer out. There are going to be a few folds in this card and a cut kind of in the middle of the card, but you will see once you have done a few of them, it goes by fairly quickly. So what I'm going to do is start with the shorter piece of my paper at the top and then place it at the 2-inch mark and then set my trimmer down. And I'm going to start to trim it at 2 inches from the top. You can see that mark. This is why it's really good to have this type of a trimmer, because you need to cut in the middle. So set this down and set it, place my cutter at the 2-inch mark, and then I'm going to cut down to the 7.5 inch mark. And then I'm going to be turning my cardstock around. This is a basic white cardstock. And so where the cut, the shorter part above, below the cut is at the bottom. So the longer piece compared from the cut to the edge of the paper is at the top. And with my scoring blade, so make sure I have my cutting blade out of the way, I'm going to score at 2 inches. And I'm only going to score down to the cut line. So you can see it's about at 3.5 inches. So I'll score only down that far and then move it over. So that's 2 inch, and repeat the same process at 4 inches down to just 3.5, and then 5 1/4, six and a half. Oh, you're going to need your arm out here from your trimmer. So 6.5, and 7.5. And then I'm going to turn my paper around and score it. So I just, so it's the opposite long end, and then score it at 4.5 inches. And this is only going to be scored to that cut line that's in the middle of your card stock here. Okay. And then just going to fold it. So I'm going to fold this right here, one time here. We're going to make some mountain and valley folds. So starting at the thinner edge right here. So you've got different, I guess, panels is what you can call them. This is the shortest end. So that's going to be a mountain fold. Then we'll do a valley, and then we'll do a mountain and a valley. And the last one is going to be a mountain fold. And right there is the basis for your step card. Now comes the fun part. We get to decorate. And this is where the fun of this stamp set comes in. You'll notice that there's actually 17 different kinds of stamps here. And we are, my daughter especially, is a big cat lover. So anytime I see something with cats, I tend to be like, oh, I need that. That can be year round. So, but this particular card, I'm going to use a few of these cats. So I just grabbed the picture, the stamps that I liked, and I have a piece of, it's a little piece of rectangle of some basic white. And I'm starting out with pumpkin pie and this little piece that actually is it's the inside of the pumpkin. So I'm going to stamp that at the bottom. Okay. And then I have the outline image of that jack-o'-lantern, and that is going to be stamped in my Memento black ink. And that just overlays. This stamp is not meant to be perfect. You're going to see the image of it. And that is really, it's not meant to fill in the whole thing. You can always color that in if you want, but for this makes it quick and easy. It's just some fun stamps to decorate this front panel here. Okay, and then the next thing I have is I have a cute little spider, and this spider needs to have its web that it's just spun to go down, because Halloween is spiders, right? It's all about spiders. And then I have this cute little spider. I've got to connect the spider onto her spider web. Okay, there it goes. So it's dangling down. Now we also have some fun bats that I want to include in here as well. When I have really small stamps, I sometimes, to save some time, I like to put, like for instance, this one, I have one size of bat here, and then I just flip over my acrylic block and I have placed the smaller bat as well. So I'm going to ink this one up in black and then add some fun bats to this. There's a couple here. And then I'll switch it over to the smaller, and then I'm taking the Highland Heather stamp pad. Notice how purple seems to be a very universal color these days. Maybe it's partial. Maybe it's because I like the color so much. I'm going to clean that purple off of my ink on that small one, and I think I'll add a couple little black bats here up at the top. Okay. And maybe one more right here. Okay, and you're going to need some scraps. I have scraps of some basic white, and I'm going to just stamp up all of these different images that I want to use for this card onto my scrap piece of paper. So I've got this cute little cat, grumpy cat kind of. And then I also have the hat, and I'm using, besides just black, I also have some of that Highland Heather. So I'll ink that hat back up here. Okay, and to use the Highland Heather as well, I'm going to have a fun saying on here. And this saying that I want to use says, "Have a perfect Halloween." That in Highland Heather as well. And what I have done is I am going to go ahead and cut all of these out. This one, I'm just going to freehand this one out. And we can trim that up. And then I have, I went ahead and did the same thing with this, and I just backed it with some basic black background. And then I have cut our little components out here like this. And I also have gone ahead and cut out some of these little bats as well, different colors. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside, and let's get working on the card so we can add all of these components in there and make the really fun Halloween card. So we've got the base of the card, and then I've gone ahead and cut out, this is from the Designer Series pack, the Cute Halloween, and these are all different dimensions. So if you would like to get a PDF on all the measurements that I have here, as well as the directions with little, with pictures, kind of a diagram of what the measurements are and the folds and the cuts, just head on over to my blog, and it will give you the directions on how you can receive that for free. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start gluing this together. So this front panel up here is going to go in the front here on the left side. Got that. This says Boo, isn't this cute? So these are double-sided. This one's a super fun one too. Got the ghost with that beautiful Highland Heather purple in there. It's going to go right here. Okay, and then you notice I have 3 different sizes. So the most narrow is going to go right here at the front. This is the front panel. Make sure you can see that okay on the camera. And then I've got the second widest. And that's going to go here. Okay, and you see when I fold it up, that's what we want to see. So you'll be able to see the front of that. So this third piece of our Designer Series paper, this is the largest, that's going to go on to this background here of this panel, just like that, okay? So that when we fold it up, starting to build, you can see that was starting to get some character with all of these. And the next thing that I want to do is take this piece that I've stamped here. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals, and I want to use some of these. So I did go ahead and just freehand cut these out I like to just use, let's see, this one might be a little bit too big. No, it should be okay. What I do is I don't cut actually right up to the stamped image. I leave a little bit of white space, and that seems to help me with cutting. I might, you know what I might do is cover that there, right there, and then I have a black one. Do the same thing. Anyway, when I use a little bit of white space, I don't cut right up to the line. It makes the cutting go, that fussy cutting, go a little bit easier. So, okay, we'll go up there. So we'll kind of, okay, one thing I do see that I forgot, which I'm gonna add if I can, since I already have that little popped up bat there, but this one's a really important one. So we need to get this little cat. There's a little cute cat face that sits right above that pumpkin. So we'll see if I can add that in here. If not, okay. And one thing that is good about these clear stamps, it allows you to do this a lot easier. So this little guy's gonna get right up front there. There he goes. He's kind of popping up out of the jack-o'-lantern. That really makes that little scene right there, I think. Okay. And next, let's go ahead and get this glued on. I'm gonna use some liquid glue for this. Make sure I get some good placement here. Glue this down. Fun. Okay. All right, so now we have a few of these left. We have this cat that's trying to sit into a little box, and we have the cat that's got its tail. This would be great. So we want him to sit kind of on the ledge, which I'm going to place him just right here. We have our have a perfect Halloween, and then of course we have a little witch hat. So let's get our little guy set up here first. I'm gonna kind of measure. You can see where I want him. I probably want him a little bit lower, just so I have a nice glued down base here, less likely to bend. So I'm going to just take a little bit of glue on the very bottom and then the tail. And then place this cute cat on that last fold. This is the furthest one away from the front. Okay, so we have that little guy. The next one I want to do is take this kind of grumpy cat. I kind of just measure it. I eyeball it where I want it to go. And then with my finger, I'll just measure it a little bit, knowing I just place some glue at the bottom here. Like this. That's one thing good about this liquid glue, is you can kind of position it before it actually dries. Okay, put him like that. Okay, and then next I'm going to put this Have a Perfect Halloween. Again, I will add some liquid glue to that. Just like that. And then I will use a Stampin' Dimensional to pop up this hat. Have it kind of go, let's see, maybe right there. Okay. So, you know, this is going to fit. It will fit fine in an envelope, a regular A2 size envelope. Let's see if I have one handy here. And you can see it fits in it just fine, like this. But it will open up. There's the top view, and you can see. So when it's opened up, it has a little bit of the 3D look. Isn't that cute? And then there's my little bats with the little jack-o'-lantern with the little cat hanging, sitting up, peeking outside up on the top, and then the other two cats here hanging out. Have a perfect Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed this card. This is the Clever Cats stamp set that I used for this card. And again, remember, if you are interested in receiving the PDF for this, just go head over to my blog. It's easy to do. It's just sign up for my newsletter that you receive monthly, and I send out little tips and specials and classes that I am holding as well. So if you sign up for that, I will send it to you, the PDF, by email. And if you place an order this month, it will also include the PDF for this, as well as the kit to make this minus the stamp. So you'll get the designer series paper and the basic white cardstock. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye.